Crockett.
I'm Stefan.
And I'm Zeph.
And I'm James.
And welcome to the Camp Davy Chronicles. And ladies and gentlemen, is my best Hayden impression right there.
Oh, that was a great Hayden impression, Stephen. You know, so just to explain real quick why Stephen is here again, it's because we all decided that he's better than Hayden. So
I mean, that's a given.
No, Hayden is not feeling well today, so we decided that since I had an absentee episode, it was his turn to do the same. So Stephen, another of our previous guests, has now graduated alongside JD to guest host status.
Yippee!
Congratulations.
I feel honored.
We have with us our new guest interviewee person, dining hall director and aspiring late night host James Crussell.
Thank you. You know, it seemed a little like you forgot my name there for a second.
No. I did absolutely not forget your name, Jose. In case you are confused, that is his camp nickname, or something that he gets called at camp is Jose. It's not actually that I forgot his name, although Jonathan, I just want to say. Yeah, anyway.
I'm sensing a mild pattern here.
What? Well, actually, two guests in a row with a J name. That's true. So, James, you're supposed to say something. Are you excited to be on the podcast, James?
I am thrilled to be on the podcast. I didn't think I'd be invited.
Okay. Well, you know, we just... Never mind. We invited you because, actually, you were one of our first test listeners. I think
I was. I think I was one of the first people ever to listen to it in our cabin here at Baby Crockett.
I think you may have been the first, besides me and Hayden, to hear the test pilot.
Yeah, it was. And the test pilot was great.
Yeah, you know, no one else will ever hear it. So, it actually doesn't exist anymore, I'm pretty sure.
That is upsetting.
Yeah. Anyway, it is week 2 of summer camp. Woo! And we just got back from the volleyball game Thursday night. How did that go, Stephen?
Well, did not go as well as we hoped. We did lose. We went... Scoutmasters won the first game. We won the second game. And then Scoutmasters won the third game. Because that's how math works.
It is, I guess.
But I was impressed by how staff played today. I think we played really well. Just Scoutmasters outplayed us.
Yeah.
They played better.
You all gave it your all, really.
We did.
It was a good game. I was sportscasting for the YouTube channel.
He was.
And, you know, I'm very much of an amateur when it comes to sports. So, you know, that might show a little, but I did my best, and it forced me to pay a little more attention than I usually do, although I was still very distracted, and, you know, it's fine. It was a good game, and it was a lot closer than last week.
It was.
Yeah. All right, so congrats on that. James, how have you felt about this week so far?
I think it's been a fantastic week. Definitely a different environment than week 1 was. I think everybody's really figuring out what they're doing here at camp.
That's true.
Putting their best forward. But it's been a great week here.
How are things going down at the dining hall?
I think it's gone really well. It's been a really great week down there. Like I said, everybody's getting into their rhythm of everything, and we've cut down our time on preparing everything.
That's
about half.
We also finally had a breakfast that didn't include biscuits.
I know, that's like reason for celebration.
Congratulations, James. I'm very proud of you for...
I should probably clarify for those listening. It's like the biscuits we have down here at camp are really good. Mm-hmm. It's just after having them for
3 weeks
every day for the solid 3 weeks, they do get a little bit old after a while. So we got some waffles this morning.
Waffles and bacon. And it was when my staff area was serving. So I like to think that we were a good luck charm there.
You were the people with the waffle back
We were the waffle kings. Can you explain the biscuits, James?
Yeah.
Explain the biscuits.
So I think it does need a little bit of explanation. We do not want to serve biscuits every day, to my understanding. The issue is like a lot of things right now, the supply chain is kind of messed up. And so basically whenever we order a breakfast bread product, if they don't have it, it's replaced with biscuits. And so it's been biscuits, and a couple more biscuits down the line.
Excuses is what I'm hearing, but okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for enlightening us.
That's
sir.
what I heard as well.
Yeah. So guess what? Fun fact. I did hear that there is another podcast represented on camp today.
Oh man.
This week.
Do we have competition?
No, I don't think so. It's not a published podcast. But when I was giving my tour on Sunday, I, of course, as you do, plugged the Camp David Chronicles to the group. But actually, they're the ones who brought up podcasts first. Because as we were walking, someone was like, oh man, this would be great for the podcast. And I was like, wait, what, did you say podcast? And I plugged Camp David Chronicles. And they're like, wait, you guys have a podcast like for real? And I was like, yes, we do have a real podcast. And it turns out that this troupe has a, it's not pretend podcast. Like they have recorded podcasts on their campouts and stuff, but it's just not published. So it's like their private podcast. But it was a very, very interesting moment to have that connection when they're the ones who brought up podcasts before I even got a chance to plug it.
That's a first time for sure.
That is.
Yeah. So shout out to the 5 Guys, 1 Cabin podcast, I think is what it was called. Something like that.
That's an interesting name for a podcast.
Yeah.
I was going to say that we should encourage them to publish it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, hey, if you guys do publish it, let us know, and we might just give you guys a shout out.
Maybe. It better be good.
Live up to the name.
Absolutely.
So James, another thing I want to talk to you about today is you have this hose down by the dining hall. This very interesting water hose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you tell us about that hose?
I can. So we have a water hose that is 2 hoses connected to one another. One of them is black and it works just fine, and the other is red and it does not work fine. It was tangled the other day in what I would say about 15 different languages.
You know who had a hand in tangling them?
I think we might have a guess by looking at those very hands.
Well, they were already tangled. To be fair, I untangled the hoses from each other, but they were still screwed together. And I tried very hard to unscrew them from each other so I could take one of them to water the flowers out front of the dining hall.
Mm-hmm.
They're very pretty flowers, and it's my job as ecology director to water them.
You've been scarring them along the way.
Yeah,
apparently.
I've been. Well, that was only a couple of days. It's fine. But I really wanted to use this hose because the hose I had been using, you guys took into the dish room.
Mm-hmm.
And so this gray hose connected to the red hose looked really nice. And I was trying to unscrew it, but it wouldn't unscrew. And I fought it very hard and valiantly, but it was a losing battle, and I blistered my fingers. It was a combination of, it was very hot and also abrasion of, unscrewing. So I have 3 out of commission fingers currently from blisters. And people have been asking me constantly because, of course, or especially earlier when I had big green adhesive stuff around them to protect them. Now I've graduated to Band-Aids. So people were asking, what happened to your fingers? And I told them, listen to the podcast and I'll tell you about it because I don't miss any chance I get to plug.
Oh, absolutely.
I dare say that's a first for injuries here. There's been a lot of blisters from a lot of different things, but unscrewing a hose is definitely a first here.
You can put your name in the history book, Zeph.
As
the first staff member to get hose blisters.
Maybe. I also think, actually, though, speaking of history books, I think because of that protective tape I had around my fingers, one of those fingers being my right thumb, I think there's a good chance I'm the first ecology director in camp history to have a literal green thumb.
Oh.
There you go. That's one for the history books right there.
Absolutely.
So James, you are our guest, and as such, we are going to interview you today. Stephen, do you want to ask the first question?
I would love to ask the first question.
Here you go. Here's my handy dandy notebook.
Oh man. I remember just, a couple weeks ago when, I was on the other side of the table and you guys were the ones like shining the light in my eyes as you asked these questions.
Actually, the light is behind James, not in front of him.
Close enough.
Okay.
All right. James, Jose, whatever you like to go by. How many years have you been on camp staff? And what is your current position? And what are any of your former positions on camp staff?
All right.
Your life history
Life history
of
here.
specifically being on campus.
At
Your
Davy
camp
Crockett.
life history.
Yes.
And I think that's really when life starts. is when
Oh,
you
absolutely.
become Staff members at Davy Crockett. So I started working here 3 years ago. This makes my third summer. So I started in 2020.
Interesting year.
It was an interesting year. There was a lot of unique parts of that year.
Indeed.
But in my opinion, that is maybe the most fun year I've ever worked
What?
at Davy Crockett.
Okay.
I will say it was an interesting year, but that year did run pretty smoothly.
It did.
It ran smoothly, but hard disagree on most fun.
I would say the stress overall was not fun.
Yeah.
I think that out of everybody's stress, us having to make some joy out of it became a lot of fun.
True. The class schedule was not fun that year, though.
No, that was definitely a unique class schedule. And I think the campers agreed on that one.
True, but at least they were having a different class every block. We were doing the same one twice a day all week.
Yeah, you could teach those in your sleep.
I mean, it's kind of like the biscuits. It's like there's nothing wrong with them, but it does get old after a little while.
Yeah, there can be some things like that on camp when you work for it when you work on camp staff for a whole summer. I can speak.
English is hard.
That's what they claim.
That's James. Continue answering the question.
So I started back in 2020 as a merit badge staffer. I taught what I consider to be the best Indian lore merit badge class at this camp.
Okay.
We originated with the Indian lore drip here at camp.
What?
It was super tradable here during that year.
Okay.
So the merit badge has these kits that you create crafts with Native American necklaces and some little bags and things like that. And there would be kids who didn't take the merit badge who would go all around camp saying, "Can I get some of that Indian lore drip?" And they would trade candy bars, all kinds of stuff to get these necklaces and all over camp. So
did you just start a mini black market on camp for candy for Indian lore stuff?
They weren't specifically trading to me. They were trading to the other campers after the merit.
Oh, right.
Sure.
Right. Okay. Just like the trading card black market.
Yeah. And there seems to be a black market.
There does. Your trading card was just given out at the end of the week, right?
Yeah.
So you're the hard to catch Pokemon this year.
Yeah, I've only signed 2 of them so far.
With my pen.
Yeah, your pen.
Yeah, because you're not carrying around your own.
Yeah, it bled in my pocket today.
Oh yeah, our second guest in a row with a blue ink spill story. So yeah, he spilled a blue ink pen.
I did. It spilled all over my scout pant pocket.
We got to keep the trend going. So let's hope that all of our other guests also have blue ink spill stories.
I think if they don't, we should create a sort of like a cartoon style bucket dropping over the door.
Just as they walk into the studio.
Yes.
They come in normal, they leave like Smurfs.
Yes, indeed. I have a question for Steven, actually, but you're still in the middle of
I am still in the middle.
But that's okay. We get off track here, and that's the point.
Where was I on this?
You were a merit badge instructor teaching Indian lore, and all the kids wanted to get those swaggy kits.
Yeah, great kits.
Yes.
And so in between teaching that merit badge, I volunteered in the dining hall. One day I was sent down there, and back then we, because of it being such a unique year, we were packaging food and sending it out to the campsites instead of the scouts coming to the dining hall. And at that point, I kind of made a connection with some of the dining hall staff. I really enjoyed it. And so I kept volunteering every day to fill those slots in the dining hall, which previously they were like having to just tell people. Nobody was wanting to do it. And so I think after my 5th day of volunteering, Miss Judy, our business manager here at camp, came up to me and I asked if there was an open slot. And she said, "You're doing it for the rest of the summer." And I said, "Oh yeah, I'm ready for this." And so I did it every day. And then the next year I applied to work in dining hall full time. And so last year, 2021, I was dining hall staff. And in 2022 now, I've become the dining hall director.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And that's so now we have enough dining hall staff from our I don't know. How do you... So, explain how the staff dynamic works, because there's the dining hall staff, and then there's the dining hall lunch ladies. Like, what's the difference there?
So, the difference is it's broken up into two different categories, and basically think of it as a wall. So, there's the dining hall director and dining hall staff, which is me. And that's the area where you eat in. That's the area that has the tables. We're responsible for making sure that everything runs in and out of that area smoothly, as well as making sure that the dish room is taken care of. And then there's the kitchen staff and kitchen director. And our kitchen director is a woman named Lori, who's worked here
a long time.
I think this is like her 12th year, and like her 8th year as the director.
Okay.
And then she has her staff. Most of us, at least in the dining hall, we just call them the ladies, like the dining hall ladies.
Yeah.
It's,
Right.
it's sort of like a musical group, you know, band name.
Yeah. They are all ladies.
They are.
Okay.
They are.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I take that back. This year we have a new lady named Caleb, and he works here about 1 day a week.
Okay. This is not Ranger Caleb.
No, it is not Ranger.
He
Caleb.
did used to be dining hall staff.
He did. I think he was. I don't know that he was ever the director, but I think that he was kind of the last person who really.
Right.
You know.
I think this is the first time that we've
I
had
feel like this is the first time we've had a dining hall director.
It is actually,
like, as opposed to a kitchen director or head cook.
Yeah, this first year we've ever done this.
Yeah. Last time that we had trading cards, which was a few years ago, Lori had a trading card because she was the dining hall director or head cook or whatever it said on there, which this is the first time we've had trading cards in at least 3 years.
Yeah.
But,
I think that's
yeah. But now you're on one of them. So
I am.
Congratulations.
And it's really it's a rounding moment, because one of my favorite stories about the past trading cards from Lori is she used to have a trading card like you mentioned, and her task for the kids to get the trading card was to put a bell on our former camp director Freddie. And so there would be one night, as I understood it, where campers would sneak and hang little bells all over his uniform. And so he would leave the dining hall one night, and you would just hear this jangling sound of him coming down the hallway. And the reasoning behind the bell was that apparently he was kind of a light walker, and in the old dining hall they had these heavy fans running all the time. So he would just sneak up on the ladies and scare them, and so they wanted to put a bell on Freddie. But the rounding moment on this is on our 50th anniversary patch, the CSP in honor of Freddie has a little bell in the corner.
Really?
And that's where that comes from.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool trivia. Okay, so James, the next interview question. Hold on. First,
I was about to say.
we need a Stefan update, because especially since we have Stefan here, we can have our first segment of has Stefan something yet this summer?
Stefan has not Stefaned anything so far. There's still 3 weeks left in the summer
Something
camp
like
season,
that.
somewhere around there. But so far, we're good. We're
Okay.
fine. Nothing has been Stefaned yet.
I heard tell that you broke a muzzleloader again.
Something was almost Stefaned this week. But no, I learned from my mistakes last time, and I decided, okay, I'm not going to try and resolve the situation, because the last time I did that, it ended up breaking. I'm just going to give this to someone who actually knows what they're doing. And
So you're saying the last time that you broke a muzzleloader is because you were trying to fix a muzzleloader?
yes, okay.
Okay.
So I feel like I didn't explain the muzzleloader story last time, but
I think that's all the explanation we need, Steve. It
Well,
sounds
fine.
like you're just okay, so James, what troop were you in, and how many years have you been in scouting?
So I am in BSA Troop 107
Wow.
in Bristol, Tennessee, over Mountain District. And I have been in scouting for 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm fairly new to the BSA program.
Right. And so you've been on camp staff pretty much the whole time.
I have, actually.
Was camp staff your introduction to it, or was it before then?
No, actually, I might have lied to you. It might be 4 years now that I've been in scouting. So my first year at summer camp was 2019, and I came to Camp Davy Crockett about 3 weeks after I joined with my troop. The scout camp was really my first introduction to anything scouting related. And then the next year, 2020, Davy Crockett was a little understaffed. And so they were having pretty much everybody on staff just call anybody that they knew that they thought might be interested in working here.
Yep.
And I was one of those phone calls. And so I came rolling in here, like a week and a half late for all the trainings and everything, and just figured it out from there.
Well, congratulations figuring out.
Thank you.
So by any chance, do you remember who gave you that phone call?
Yes, so that would be Clayton Carr, our
Mouse Patrol.
Our Mouse Patrol here at Davy Crockett. And that was the year, 2020 was the year he got that nickname. Same year I got the nickname Jose.
We're going to have to save that story for some time, like for a YouTube short or
maybe
something.
What, Mouse Patrol explanation?
Yeah, Mouse Patrol.
I remember being a little bit offended by the Mouse Patrol, actually, because I had, in the past, I had gone to relocate mice from cabins, and then Clayton started having the task of setting up traps everywhere, and I was like, come on, man, we should just be introducing snakes or something, but no one seemed to like that idea for some reason. Anyway.
So your dream was to just have a lot of snakes.
Yeah, I want more snakes on camp. That's my goal. Okay, so Steven, we ask the next question.
All right, James. What is your favorite campsite and shelter?
Campsite and shelter. So separately?
Yes.
Separately. What's your favorite campsite?
Campsite and program shelter.
All right, so I'm going to be a little sentimental here. I think my favorite campsite is probably the Mountain Lion campsite.
Yeah, let's go! Mountain Lion represent! Okay.
Yeah, and so my reasoning behind this, I have two reasons.
Okay.
Number one, that was the first campsite I stayed in 2019, and so I have some special memories there. And number two, the path, I don't know that it's cleared out for this summer, but there's a path in between the old parade field and pool that you can go down and you can get to the campsite. It back whenever we used to have flags in the old parade field, it was a great shortcut to get there. It's a shady path to walk to the campsite, and it's a general central location to everything in camp.
Absolutely.
It's the greatest campsite by far.
Amen. The path is still there. I just took one of my nature classes on it today.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
I will say that is a good little trail right there, because my troop would usually stay in Buffalo campsite, so we would use that trail every now and then as well.
There's a little fork in the trail that if you go to the right, it'll take you up to the road outside of Buffalo, but if you go left, it takes you right into the back of the Mountain Lion campsite. You're already there. You don't even have to keep walking on the road, Steven.
Don't.
That's how much better Mountain Lion is than Buffalo.
No, yes. Buffalo is closer to everything else than Mountain Lion is, just shorter walking.
Not the pool. Mountain Lion is
it's close enough.
I think you need to have the people share with us, Team Buffalo, Team Mountain
Team
Lion.
Buffalo or Team Mountain Lion.
Do we need to get a poll going on Twitter?
Instagram. We don't have enough followers for a Twitter poll. We did get a retweet, though.
Oh, man.
One of my staff quotes got retweeted by one of our followers.
Nice.
It was a quote from Sean that was I might slightly paraphrase because I'm not looking at it, but it was my phone also said that it's a great day to go outside and take a walk, but I'm going to ignore that advice.
Which that is a pretty good quote. I will admit.
Accurate to most camp staff members.
Indeed. So shelter next.
Shelter. That is a very difficult question. We have a lot of fantastic shelters here at camp. If I was being sentimental, actually, not even sentimental, I will say my favorite shelter is Raccoon Shelter.
Hey!
So, my reasoning behind this is, again, that was, sentimental-wise, that was the first shelter I taught at. That's where the Indian Lord Drip was located.
Right.
There's probably still some beads under that table from the craft.
Probably.
Yeah, I tried my best to clean them up.
Yes, I appreciate that. I hope so, because I hope there are not, because we do try to keep it clean.
Yes.
But yeah, at least it's not. If you want to know what the worst shelter is for trash, it's handicraft always. There's so much trash in handicraft.
Well, handicraft is also the middle of camp too, so it's usually where all the campers go to just
right next
hang out.
to the game pits. So yeah. Anyway, continue on raccoon.
So first shelter that I ever taught at, I love it because of that. Definitely sentimental. I also like it because of, and I think it's less so hidden now. I think that it's pointed out in tours. But I definitely know back in 2019, whenever I was a camper, it was kind of a joke to go up to the trading post staff and ask where the raccoon shelter was.
Yeah.
Because that was like a constant question that they were being berated with.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I kind of like it because of that. I love anything that kind of becomes a trend with the campers here at Davy Crockett.
True.
We have a lot of things throughout staff that are returning things, but definitely knowing that those campers have those same kind of memories.
Yeah.
I love that.
I still always will get asked where the raccoon shelter is on the first day.
Yep.
Like it still happens. I will say a slight downside to the raccoon shelter is the dust.
Yeah.
You gotta, oh my gosh. There is infinity dust in the raccoon shelter.
All the dust.
I have attempted to brush dust off of the tables and sweep the tables there, but there's just more dust under the dust. It never ends.
I'm pretty sure the tables are just compacted dust.
The tables are made out of dust.
Would not surprise me at all.
So yeah, I've been teaching there this year for insect study. And my backpack has acquired a little bit more dust every time that I've dropped it off there on one of those tables. But it's a great place. Gotta love it. Now the next question is a very important question, very interesting question to be asking the dining hall director. What is your favorite dining hall food?
Oh. That is a very difficult question to answer because it's all so delicious.
Yes, of course.
I'm going to answer this in two segments.
Okay.
I'm going to say what my favorite old dining hall food is, back from whenever we were in the building, and my favorite new dining hall meal, because the menus have changed since then, since we've been in our new building. My favorite old meal would be, we used to have these chicken nuggets that can only be described as McNuggets. They were McNuggets.
I remember those chicken nuggets. I miss those chicken nuggets.
They
to
were
be honest.
so good.
I don't remember them, but I will say I'm not a fan of McNuggets at all.
Really?
Like from McDonald's, I had them once, and I wanted to throw up. They were very gross. But
Zeph, you're hitting me where it hurts. You're hitting the listeners where it hurts.
Hey, I'm just speaking the truth here. I don't like them. But I don't remember these nuggets. So I may have still been vegetarian at that point. I don't know.
I'd say so.
That might be it. What about the new dining hall?
So new dining hall. Actually, I wasn't done with the first part.
Okay.
So we had these chicken nuggets and rolls at the old dining hall. So they are the same rolls that we used to serve, but we have this product called liquid margarine that we use in the dining hall. And I know because I've talked to some other campers and they have the same memories of this. They used to, the cooks, do what I can only describe as dunk that stuff on the rolls. They would take a pan of rolls and just cover it. And so you would, if you were one of the lucky few that would be at the end of the line.
Oh, I remember
and you would get this roll that was sopping and dripping wet in this margarine.
It was the greatest thing.
10,000 calories
ever.
or above. Most amazing thing you've ever experienced.
They were the kind of things where you could probably feel your arteries harden as you ate it. You enjoyed every minute of it.
You knew that if it was your time to go, you died happy.
Exactly.
I remember this well. These very, very buttery rolls there.
Yeah, that was amazing. And so, like I said, we still have the rolls at the new dining hall, but I think our health conscious, we've become slightly more health conscious.
Well, that's good to know.
And do not clog arteries.
That is a crying shame.
Stephen wants his arteries
I don't
clogged.
mind having a couple months shaved off my life expectancy. Those rolls were
They
good.
were good. They were good. I think for one staff week, we should take it back. We should,
Please.
we should
no.
beg Lori
Please.
to just dump some margarine.
Oh no. I think I would have to abstain from that.
That'd be great.
So new dining hall.
New dining hall food. I think the best meal and most similar to a meal that you would have in the actual outside of camp world is our roast beef. I think we have it about once a week. But that roast beef, the I think it's a pot roast is what it's labeled as in the dining hall.
Okay.
It is the juiciest,
It is delicious.
most tender roast beef I've ever had. And I've had a lot of like old
It is
Southern ladies
absolutely
roast
delicious.
beef. It doesn't compare. I mean, it's so good.
You know, though, I've got to say, we promised the people Bacon Man in the last episode. We even titled the episode Return of Bacon Man because Hayden was so excited about bringing back the Bacon Man graphic on the dining hall menu on the TVs. And guess what we have not had this week on the TVs in the dining hall?
Bacon Man.
Well, the menu at all, but it's specifically Bacon Man. Yes, Bacon Man's return was not
Is
returned.
postponed.
Bacon Man's return has been postponed until further notice.
Stay tuned for next week for the hopefully actual return of Bacon Man.
We shall see. Oh my.
Bacon Man will always be a staple, as well as, I don't know if the campers who were here hopefully will remember it. On the last day of camp, on Saturday morning, we feed them muffins.
Of course.
And we needed a way to make those muffins a little more exciting. Now, personally, I don't believe they needed to be more exciting.
They are
Muffins
good
are
muffins.
inherently exciting.
Okay.
But Hayden felt it needed a little extra oomph. And so whenever he was making our graphics for the muffins on the menu, I think he added 6 exclamation points at the end of it.
Yeah.
And so it was muffins, you know?
Muffins! I thought you were going to say the Muffin Man, and then I was going to start singing Do You Know the Muffin Man?
Well,
But,
see, I do know him quite well because I serve the muffins on Sunday mornings, so I do consider myself to be Camp Davy Crockett's muffin.
you are the Muffin Man. I thought
am.
you were going to say that you serve muffins and so you get them from the source, like you meet them to get them. But no, you're claiming Muffin Man shit.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned that because this is slightly off topic. But
Okay.
as I was getting the box of muffins out of our storage last week to serve them to the campers on week 1, I was reading the company name, and to the best of my knowledge, like, it's basically called Muffin Corp or something. Like, they just produce muffins. And I was thinking it would be great to be like an executive in that company because you better believe that you would be calling yourself the Muffin Man.
Instead of CEO, just the Muffin Man.
No, I'm thinking the CEO of muffins.
Representing all muffins.
Of course. Always. Who wouldn't want to be the CEO of muffins?
Absolutely. All right. Jose, next question. What is your favorite Marvel movie?
Oh, wow. All right.
This is the most important actually, second most important question that we ask.
This is, and it's a great question. The issue with this is I personally love the Marvel movies that I've seen. I think that they're high quality, they're fantastic, and the idea of the cinematic Marvel universe to me is actually like astounding.
Okay.
But I have never taken the time to watch all of those movies.
That's okay, because we don't expect everyone to have seen every Marvel movie like we losers have.
I mean, at this point, it's what, like 25, 30 movies?
Anyway, so...
Plus your original series.
Yeah, we're not... Because, I mean, I said mine was Into the Spider-Verse, which is not MCU. So it can be like any Marvel Comics branded film counts for this question. So all that matters is that you've seen any of them and you have a favorite out of the ones you've seen. And if we ever run into a guest that has not seen a single Marvel movie at all, then maybe we can extend it to superhero movie. And if they still haven't seen anything, then maybe we can just say movie. I don't know. We'll see what happens there.
Have you ever seen a motion picture?
Hopefully they have at least seen one motion picture in their life. Anyway, so what would your favorite Marvel movie be, James?
That is a difficult question. So out of the ones that I've seen, I really enjoyed the first Iron Man movie. I thought that was great. Out of the newest ones that I've seen, I really enjoyed... the name has slipped me. It was just came out a couple months. Actually, it's been like a year now.
Shang-Chi?
No, the one just before that.
Black Widow.
Black Widow?
No, it was in between Black Widow and Shang-Chi.
Was there?
No, it was about like these 5 superhero or people with powers.
We're talking about the Eternals?
Yeah, the Eternals. Is that in the MCU?
It is.
Yeah. So I thought it was a pretty good movie. I know that in the fan group, I know that it had questionable reviews.
Yeah.
I will say it was a little bit different than most of pretty much all the other Marvel movies that they made, but still wasn't a bad movie.
To me, isn't entirely a bad thing that it's different, but it did get really bad reviews.
Which I feel like most of the bad reviews were just because it's straight away from what Marvel usually does for all those movies.
There's some pros and cons to it. I will say, when I saw it in theaters, I thought it was okay, and then I rewatched it with my family at home and was really bored, so I have no idea.
Maybe, and I might have to come back and review it once I get through the rest of the MCU.
It's not really tied to any of them, though. But even though it's in the,
I did enjoy it, and the main reason for enjoying it is not because I enjoyed the movie per se, but because there was one portion in it that I found to be utterly comical whenever I was in the theater.
Okay.
Which is, they're on this spaceship situation. And the first time as it was going across the screen, I looked over at my friend and we just burst out laughing because it is the most clunky thing on this like 110-inch screen or however big the movie theater screens are. You see this big block that takes up like at least 3/4 of the screen, just going the most least aerodynamic thing that's ever existed. I found that so funny, and I don't know why.
It is funny. So is that your favorite or Iron Man? Which one?
Iron Man probably for tying more into the MCU, but the Eternals holds a special place because of
just for that.
Yeah.
Because John's favorite was Iron Man 2, our previous guest. So
that was a pretty good movie too.
Yeah,
definitely.
So now it's we're a little bit past halfway, but it's time to pause for the word of the day and all of those segment type things. So James, you have a word for us today?
I do have a word for you. So it's not a word that is not commonly used, I would say.
Okay.
But I've always liked the word vicarious. Like living vicariously through somebody.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fun to say. It sounds really nice to roll off the tongue. And I kind of like the concept of it. Just that whole... what it stands for is an interesting concept to me. Can
you define that concept?
That concept would be, I think, living through a person, living through in mind the actions that a person is taking.
Right. Like when a parent brings their kids to do a fun activity and you say they're living through their child or something like that.
I would say that. And I think I associate it more with like living through movie characters. That's part of what I love about movies is being able to
live vicariously
through them.
Yeah, it is a good word. Although I'm not sure why you said it's not commonly used word. I don't hear it used that much in everyday speech.
You don't? That's so strange.
But if you use the word of the day or any word of the day from any of our episodes in a sentence, when you meet me or Hayden at camp, we will give you a card that you can then bring to the other one of us, and they will give you the official Camp Davy Chronicles patch.
It is a really nice looking patch.
It is a very nice look. I saw it from the distance the other day at Campfire. From a distance, it looks so good.
It is cool. Well, now you get one because you've been on the podcast and you gave us a word of the day in person on the podcast. So that kind of counts.
Do I have to get a
extra.
card back and forth too?
No. But yeah, and assuming that Hayden and I are both here on camp when you are here, then which is most of the time.
Yeah.
Yes. So. Oh yeah, joke. Do you have a joke?
Joke. Yes. So
careful.
We're gonna tread into some iffy waters with you, Zeph.
Oh boy. But I know where this is going.
What do you call a cow whenever it doesn't shave? Or no, I'm sorry.
I know the answer because it's one of the 5 jokes on the milk cartons. We've discussed this way too many times. I'm tired of milk carton jokes.
Well, but I think since you know the answer, you have to give it to the listeners now.
No.
Come on.
I'm not going to stoop to this level, James.
Do it,
Stefan.
No.
Do it for the podcast.
No.
Do it for the podcast.
But first, you have to ask the question correctly.
Yeah, okay. So what's... See, I've forgotten the beginning portion of the joke, though. I see it every day of my life.
Okay, hang on.
You're the one who gives us the milk.
I know. I'm the milkman, too, by the way.
And the muffin man.
Hang on. I'm trying to remember it now. Oh, no. Is it
What does a cow get whenever it doesn't shave?
What?
A moustache.
I didn't say it. Okay. Good. No, I won't say it.
Wonderful delivery, for sure.
Hey, we still have quite a few of those jokes left to go through this summer, Zeph.
No, we need our next guest, I'm sure, will provide a much better joke. We'll see. No offense to you, James.
Oh, yeah.
So whoever the next guest is for this podcast, which should be announced at some point in a few minutes.
So I know Steven has some qualms with the milk company, but we'll get to that later for our thought of the day.
It's going to be more of a rant of the day, but okay.
But, so James, Mr. Dining Hall Man, what is one of your favorite camp stories?
Favorite camp stories? Wow. That is a very difficult question to answer. There's so many great ones.
You can provide even just a brief moment that meant a lot to you.
So I think harkening back to my first year at camp, 2020, where we were mentioning all that fun that we had.
Yes, of course.
One of my favorite camp stories actually took place with our guest host today, Stefan.
Oh, I know where this is about to go.
Do you?
And
I do.
I don't. I'll sit back and listen.
I'm actually glad that you're here, Stefan, because I don't remember the beginning portion on how the feud started between us and JD. But the events did escalate, and we will get to that.
All right, so I feel like it started with a certain somebody saying, it's like, hey, what's a good way to prank JD? I don't know why this certain somebody, who shall remain unnamed for right now, wanted to prank JD. Maybe they can provide us a little bit of insight.
Right. Okay.
Gee, I wonder who that was.
I do wonder. It seems like they really absolute loser. But I think that loser might have been thinking, have a little fun at camp. First year there, nobody knew me, so
Which is true.
Why not mess with the man in charge?
Yeah. So
he wasn't really the man in charge then either. He was still. Would he have been shooting sports director then?
he would have been assistant shooting sports director then.
Okay.
Because Mike was still director.
Okay. So,
future man.
Yeah. So just continue the story here.
This would have been the year before I took over.
Yeah. So, I do remember how it all lined up now. So I asked that, and I remember hearing some stories in the past about like a common prank here at camp is that people would put things up the flagpoles.
Oh no.
And so I stole JD's car keys.
Oh no.
I did remove the fob.
We did remove all the stuff that, it will be bad if it got wet or stolen.
Okay.
And we put them up the flagpole in the old parade field.
Yeah.
And they were found that morning whenever they came falling down very quickly on Samuel in the morning.
Oh, gosh.
Flags.
Wait, this wasn't at Flags, was it?
No,
Okay,
we did not have flags.
Oh, that's right. We didn't have Flags.
This is 2020.
Yeah, right.
And so we stole the keys and put them up the flagpole, and I thought that it would end there.
It did not.
A side note on
Spoiler warning.
is that, and I think it was Stefan, I might be falsely accusing you, but I had Stefan help me with this. But Stefan told on me before JD even found the keys.
I'm going to stop you right there. Because that is a lie. Okay, so the plan was for me and James to go put JD's keys up the flagpole. But at the time, James was not over 18 yet, and I was. So for youth protection reasons, we needed another adult to come with us, and that other adult was Hayden. So we all went, and Hayden was the one that sold us out to JD.
Yes. Yeah, he sold us out. And so JD got his keys and kind of just gave me a stern look of disapproval.
So that's why he doesn't like you.
Yeah, it all harkens back to that, really.
It all makes sense now.
Well, at least y'all are being responsible and following the rules.
Yes.
Following the rules as we probably break some.
Broke like all the rules out past curfew.
You were following the important rules of youth protection.
Yes.
Yeah.
The truly important rules.
But anyway, maybe not the anyway, we do not condone putting things up the flagpole.
Or going out past curfew.
Or going out past curfew.
Go to bed.
There have been
we need it.
There have been much worse things put up the flagpoles here.
There have been.
Yeah, we don't need to go there.
No.
Anyway, so I'm going to I would let Stephen ask the next question, but since this is the previous guest question and I have it in my brain, I'm just going to go ahead and ask this one as well.
Go for it.
So our previous guest, John Vaughn, the pool director, asked, what is one thing that you always look forward to with staff at camp and something you always look forward to with campers separately?
Oh,
so kind of a double question.
Yeah, that is a fantastic question that he asked. I look forward to staff really on just the connections that we make. Staff week, at least traditionally, is always, like a really fun time for all of us to get together. And we become a family at the end of the summer. So I always look forward to meeting the new staff members who haven't been here before and kind of becoming a part of welcoming them into the family at Davy Crockett and all of us making that connection.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have a specific activity, but becoming a part of that family.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for campers, my favorite part of having campers here, the thing that I look most forward to, is getting to do cheers and songs with them.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I'm in the dining hall and I rarely get to be a part of Flags in the Morning where we do the cheers and all, just getting to see them out the window and hear them do the cheers and songs brings a little bit of joy in my heart.
Yeah.
I love it.
That is always one of my favorite things too. Absolutely.
Yeah. And you kind of own the Yogi Bear song.
Oh, I love the Yogi Bear song. Yogi Bear is a bop any day of the week.
It is. And it's so much fun. I think last week we had Cindy Batten, who is one of our people.
Yep.
And one of the lines in the song is Yogi has a girlfriend too, Cindy. And she always, whenever it comes time for Cindy, she comes running across the field and leaps up in acrobatics. And it's so entertaining.
Yeah, she does it at our troop meetings too. We always sing a song at our troop meetings in 240, and whenever we do Yogi Bear, she's like, Cindy! Yeah, she's a very fun person.
All right. One of your last questions of the evening. Doors or wheels?
Doors or wheels? So that is a fantastic question, and it's a question that's been answered differently by every person to come on the podcast.
Wait, there are only two answers.
There are only two.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Although we have had a fair number of people.
Maybe I only listened to 2 episodes of the podcast.
Okay, Jay.
But
Fake fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. There was that one episode where we went, what was it? Eyes or legs?
Eyes or legs, yeah.
I am team door.
Ah.
Hey.
Yeah, controversial here, I know.
Yeah, no.
I'm team door.
We actually did confirm that if you Google this, all of the all of the results you find all come to the conclusion of wheels. So I think.
Well,
don't
Google
believe
is wrong.
everything you read on the internet, Zeph.
And I'm just saying, I came up with this conclusion already, and then Google just affirmed me. So
No.
yeah. Anyway, sure thing, James. Anyway, but the final thing is, what is the question that you want to ask the next guest?
So my question that I want to ask the next guest is, what has been your experience with what I like to call the Camp Davy Crockett Raccoon Mafia?
What?
So
I never heard of the Raccoon Mafia.
Okay. I mean,
Mr. Ecology Director.
I'm getting the idea here.
Yeah. So every staff member that I have met separately has had some experience or dealing with the raccoons here at camp.
Yeah.
And they tend to be in groups, a group that can only be described as a mafia. And those are always to be the most entertaining stories. So I want to know.
That is a really good question.
That is.
Yeah, I'm glad we're getting a question a little bit more on the fun side of things, because as much as I like these the questions about your favorite thing to look forward to in the week. Oh man, Raccoon Mafia story. That'd be real interesting. Was one thing I always like to tell the scouts when I'm in their campsites for check-in or whatever, when I explain the trash box to them, is I tell them this is our bear box. It should be bear-proof, raccoon-proof, because the raccoons have not figured out how to open it yet.
Key word there. That is yet is a
I can
key
just
word.
see it in my mind, the raccoons stacking themselves on each other and unhooking the carabiner, and then 2 extra stacks on the side to lift the... I mean, it's going to happen. They're going to figure it out.
Oh, it will happen.
Yeah.
And my first story with the Raccoon Mafia, I won't get into the whole story, but I truly believe that I walked into a mafia meeting and I think that they're out to get me ever since. Like, I think I know something that I'm not supposed to know, but I don't put it past the fact of them planning to do this.
Well, hopefully they don't listen to the podcast. Raccoons, if you're listening.
Please don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had some kind of a threat to offer, but
we both know the threats are one-sided with the Raccoon Mafia.
If you're listening, stop listening and unlisten, please, raccoons. So our next guest for week 3, our episode that will be dropping July 4th, is going to be with Zachary Pop-Tart Williams.
Oh man,
the moment everyone's been looking forward to, and waiting for, whatever you say. Not that no one's been waiting for you, James, but the people want Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts
I know
is a consistently popular.
Pop-Tart is maybe a little too popular with the kids, but that's why we gotta get them views. We do it for the views, and because I like Pop-Tart. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, Pop-Tart is a cool guy.
He's a good friend.
Absolutely.
There's a couple of more shout outs and things that I promised that I would mention on this episode, though. One, Langley, that's all. Another thing, spiky black caterpillar. We did find one in insect study class, and then later in Matthew's bird study class, which it's not a bird, but we still looked at it and we were talking about it, and someone told me I should talk about it on the podcast, so I said, okay, spiky black caterpillar. If you see a spiky black caterpillar, don't touch it because they're venomous, just so you know. Anyway, and the other thing is my salamander. You all, I know, are aware of the salamander.
You've made several announcements.
I have made several announcements and comments about him. I am here to report. Well, I'll go back to the beginning. I have a Lego salamander. It's the salamander from Frozen 2, Bruni. Very near and dear to my heart, especially because my sister gave him to me for my birthday. And I brought him with me to the ecology room as an example of an amphibian and to have on display. So I take him out in our reptile and amphibian class to show the class as a nice prop, a nice visual aid to have. I set him down on the porch and bring my class down into the old parade field for 15 minutes and come back, and he's gone. He's been misplaced somehow. And so I ask people, if anyone's seen him, if anyone knows where he is, please bring him back. Today, Thursday, I can report he has been brought back to the ecology room. However, he does have some battle scars. He is missing an eye and 2 feet and a scale off of his head. So, I have decided I'm going to turn him into a cyborg to replace these parts, and that way he can be my bodyguard and vengeance salamander. If ever I need anyone to go out as like a hitman salamander, I'll have my cyborg ready to go. So that's the plan with for cyborg Bruni. I don't think that I'll be keeping him at camp though, because I think he's been too traumatized by his week of being lost.
Losing an eye and
and
2 legs will do that to you.
Yeah, so
happens to the best of us.
Happens to the best of us indeed. The volleyball. Did I mention that Yes, I did mention that I covered the volleyball on YouTube.
You did?
Yes, volleyball highlight coverage will be on YouTube. If you have any questions to give to the podcast, you can send them to campdavychronicles@gmail.com. Also follow our Instagram for new pictures every day all summer. And we said this a long while ago, but now we have a few more listeners. I want to say, if anyone would like to give us a new theme song outro, if you want to send in any musical submissions to the email, those would be awesome.
You mean you don't want your...
Well, my brother has been on there for a while, and he is okay if someone replaces him. I'm just speaking for him on his behalf. Anyway, we do have we're running low on time, but we still need to do the staff quote segment and the thought of the day. So we're gonna rush through these staff quotes here. First off, a blimp is just a sky submarine. Can you guess who said that?
I could see Shade. I could see Shade saying that, but I'm gonna go. I know the stereotypical answer for this is going with Clayton.
Everyone's always answers Clayton. I don't know why. Everyone just assumes.
I don't want to go Clayton, but I feel like that's a Clayton thing to say.
I'm just gonna straight up tell you none of these today are Clayton.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to bet with someone at Eagle Band. I'm gonna go Avery.
Okay, what do you think, James?
I'm sticking with Shade.
Okay, so I took advantage of Hayden not being here, and this is a Hayden Guevara quote.
Dang.
This is actually an older quote from before the summer, but I just pulled it out of my back pocket. A blimp is just a sky submarine. That was him. All right, now the next two are from this week, staff camp, or not, this week of camp from staff. JD, I do believe, can be confirmed not to be a coyote.
Was that ever in any doubt at some point this week?
I don't know. Apparently. Who do you think confirmed that JD is not a coyote?
I think that feels like a Matthew Williams thing to me.
I
don't know why this was the first staff member to pop in my head, but I'm going to go Ethan Rose.
Oh, yeah, I could see that one. This was neither of the above.
Oh.
This was our previous guest, John Vaughn.
Oh.
He told the story that he was out to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3 a.m., and he saw a coyote. And then less than a minute later, he saw JD walk out of the staff lodge, and he said he saw them in close proximity, so he now can confirm that JD's not a coyote. And last quote. If you have long enough monkey wrenches, you can do anything.
All right. I feel like that's a Jerry Moyer.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have to go with Stefan on this one.
Okay.
Jerry.
It's not.
Really?
Yeah. This was Trey, our aquatics director.
I could see that.
Yeah. We were talking about the hose that I was trying to unscrew, and he said, you should have used monkey wrenches. And I said... Caleb the Ranger said that he had tried using tools on this hose and it was not a winnable battle. He said, no, if you have long enough monkey wrenches, you can do anything. Okay, so now I think we may go a little overtime again, but Steven, you have to fill us in.
Okay, my thought/rant of the day. So for the joke of the day, Jose here, James, used a joke from the back. I knocked over the table.
Not knocked over the table.
I bumped the table. Okay.
He's so mad he's flipping
tables. He's flipping tables over the small carton.
So he used a joke from the Dairy Pure milk cartons, which Dairy Pure is just the name, it's just the brand name of the milk cartons that we have here. So if you look at the joke on those cartons, just under the joke, there's like a link that they printed on the bottom that says visit dairypure.com/games. So
we were very
I was intrigued by this. So as you do, you get onto the internet and you go to dairypure.com/games. Do you know what they did not have on that link, Zeph?
I do, but please tell me.
Games. There were no games. It was just a link to their website.
It's a scam. It's a ruse.
I felt betrayed. I felt bamboozled. I was lied to. It's like, what else are they lying to me about? Is it even pure dairy?
Are those jokes even funny?
I just don't know what to believe anymore. It's straight up false advertising.
Oh no! So Steven, when you go to law school, you gotta come back for us and sue.
I know. I know who I'm gonna be suing first. Straight out of law school.
That'll definitely make a name for
yourself. If anyone from Dairy Pure is listening to this podcast, you better watch out, because 3 years from now, I'm coming.
You better take that link off of your cartons now before Steven comes up with his lawsuit.
Absolutely.
Or add some games.
Or add some games.
Yeah. Better yet, add games to the website. We'll take it.
I'm envisioning a game where you shave a cow's mustache.
Mustache shaver. Oh no. Okay. Well, guys, I think I can confirm it has been a great day to be a scout at Camp Davy Fun. Normally Hayden says bye after that.
Bye.
Bye.